Bony box. Nothing but cranium. Cranium. Okay, na? Bony box. Hard bony box. Ready? So now you see we are going to draw internal environment of our brain. So your brain internally divided into many regions. Your brain internally divided into many regions. What are the main regions of your brain? So actually your brain divided into three major parts. What are three major parts? I told you already.
Forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain.
Ready? So your brain already classified into forebrain. Right. So forebrain. So actually this region. Now already we drawn certain structures here. This is elevations of your brain. So elevations mean just now you should expect up and downs. Mostly these areas are ups. And now we are going to deep interruption. This is nothing but sulfide. So actually elevations are nothing but gyres. Elevations are nothing but gyres.
Gyres.
Now deep depressions or interruptions are nothing but sulfide. Ready? So gyre and sulfide. So these are elevations. So mostly forebrain with the two major parts, nothing but I told you already. This is cerebrum.
Cerebrum.
Right? I told you already many times. So cerebrum only helping
Initiate
to
now.
operate or to initiate the which activities?
Voluntary activities.
Skeletal activities. For example, I want to walk. I started walking. Who will initiate walking? Cerebrum. Right? So this area only for the to initiate specialized voluntary activities. When I am in conscious state, I want to be thought, walk, run, jump, and catching material and or to write on to the board. So all these things, skeletal activities, when I thought, initiate the program. But who will accelerate the activity? Who will control the activity? Who will slow down the activity? Who will terminate the activity?
Cerebellum.
Actually initiate by this area. But who
Cerebellum.
will completely terminate or slow down the activity? So this is your hindbrain of cerebellum.
Cerebrum.
Right, this part. Actually, this region belongs to forebrain, but this region belongs to
Hindbrain.
So this is part of hindbrain. So hindbrain of
Supper.
cerebellum. Ready? This is cerebellum. So here you are expecting many activities, mostly activities which are initiated by cerebrum. Actually, activity started by cerebrum, but it is controlled by cerebellum. Completely terminate the activity or accelerate. You want to run fast. Who will accelerate?
Cerebellum.
You want to slow down the run. Cerebellum.
Cerebellum.
Actually, you stop the activity. When you
Cerebellum.
stop, immediately terminate the activity by cerebellum. Right? So this is part of the hindbrain. Which part? Cerebellum.
Cerebellum.
So cerebellum is a part of hindbrain. So cerebrum is a part of the
Forebrain.
right? So you remember. Now we are going to talk about midbrain. This is your pituitary gland. Which part is pituitary gland? And this is your hypothalamus. This is hypothalamus, and this is this is your midbrain.
Midbrain.
This is your
Midbrain.
right. And now this is your pineal gland. Which gland?
Pineal gland.
Pineal gland. Right. Okay, na? Now you may be expecting here location of the thalamus. This is thalamus, hypothalamus, and pituitary gland. Okay, na? And this is complete structure here to here. This is actually brainstem. This is actually brainstem.
Brainstem.
Brainstem with a couple of parts. One is pons viruli and another is medulla
Medulla
oblongata.
oblongata.
Both are belongs to, I told you already, hindbrain.
Hindbrain.
Understand? Okay na? Actually hindbrain with the cerebellum, pons viruli and medulla
Medulla
oblongata.
oblongata.
Clear? Pons viruli operating breathing process. Ready? Swallowing, coughing, sneezing and all. Okay na? Sneezing also. Actually, this is sneezing. Swallowing process, coughing process. All these involuntary activities regulated by your pons viruli. Whereas this part nothing but medulla oblongata. This part regulating all visceral activities. What are visceral activities? You know that already. Excretion, circulation. Right. Heartbeat, pumping blood towards all over the body parts, and regulating blood pressure and regulating body temperature. Who will be deal this? Visceral, medulla oblongata. All visceral activities operated by medulla oblongata. It's mean visceral activities. I told you already. Voluntary activities, involuntary activities. Actually, all muscular activities regulated by cerebrum, cerebellum, pons viruli, and medulla oblongata. So I told you I classified already. Muscular activity to two types. What are voluntary activities? Involuntary. But involuntary visceral activities, all involuntary or visceral activities, operations done by medulla oblongata. Remember, most important. They will ask you one question. So, what are involuntary activities which are regulated by which part of brain in the hindbrain? So actually, brain divided into many parts. But which part of the brain regulating the visceral activities? Medulla oblongata. Clear? So all involuntary activities. When I thought I am in conscious state, but I want to be operate my heart. Is it possible or not? Impossible. I want to be completely terminate the activity of the heart. My heart is going to beat always, but I want to be stop the heartbeat. Is it possible? Impossible. Even though I am in conscious state, I may not be stop the impossible. I am not ready to stop the activity of the organ. Why? Because I am failing. Because even though you are in conscious state, impossible to stop the heartbeat. Why? Because that is visceral activity, inner part. So involuntary activity. So indirectly your brain operating, not directly. Direct operations only voluntary activities. All muscular and that to be voluntary. Skeletal activities only operations done by cerebrum and cerebellum. Clear? Got my point? And now you remember one thing. This is pituitary gland. You know already this is pituitary gland. So what about pituitary gland? Pituitary is nothing but which gland? Master gland. Why? Because all the chemical options. What are chemical activities? For example, anger movement, water balance, sweat formation, tear formation, milk formation. For example, a woman delivered baby, baby feeding. So for baby feed we need milk. Which gland providing milk? Only milk glands. Say yes or no? Lacteal glands. Lacrimal gland secretions tears. When you cry, you are expecting tearing formation, right? So here pituitary gland operations are nothing but endocrine operations, exocrine operations. All the chemical coordinations seen by pituitary gland. What are chemical coordination? So apart from the nerve operations, I told you already. So nerve operations are nothing but movements in the body, voluntary movements, involuntary. So apart from the movements, there is another type of coordination, nothing but chemical coordination. But this chemical coordination observing by pituitary gland. So all exocrine glands. What are exocrine glands? Many times I told you, a gland secretes something onto the surface. For example, gland settled in subcutaneous. Within the subcutaneous, you are expecting presence of sweat gland. But their secretions onto the surface. Mean when you touch, you feel coolness. Why? Because your sweat gland secreting sweat. That's why sweat came out. But you remember one thing, pituitary gland secreted something, but into the bloodstream. Into in only, not onto the surface. Yes. So what is endocrine, what is exocrine? If a gland secretes something directly into the bloodstream because lack of the duct, then what do you say? Endocrine. Whereas because lack of the duct only. Whereas if duct there, a gland with the duct, directly the secretions into the target organ through the pipe. Then what do you say? Exocrine.
Exocrine.
So better example is lacrimal glands. Better example is salivary glands, sweat glands, sebaceous glands, milk glands, tear glands. These are all best examples for exocrine glands. Why? Because they secretions onto the surface,
Surface.
not into it. For example, a pituitary gland secreted a gonadotropic hormone into the bloodstream, targeting ovaries and testes.
Testis.
Clear? Ovaries are stimulated by gonadotropic hormone,
Hormone.
whereas testis also is stimulated by gonadotropic hormone. When stimulated, for example, a boy already engaging 14th year, so physically already fit. So immediately pituitary gland warned testis, you need to release testosterone to develop secondary sexual characters. Before that, boy engaged only childhood. When boy physically fit, when sex organs are completely developed, immediately a hormone which is secreted by pituitary gland, nothing but gonadotropic hormone, into the bloodstream and reach the target organ. What is here target organ? Testis.
Testis.
So testis stimulated by gonadotropic hormone. Immediately when stimulated, testis released testosterone. It developed secondary sexual characters. This is nothing but way of mechanism how endocrine system working in our body. Another type of example also. For example, adrenal gland. It locates on the surface of kidney.
Kidney.
Where adrenal gland located? Adrenal gland located on the surface of kidney. It is in which shape? Cap-like structure. Right? This is adrenal gland. What is the specialty of the adrenal gland? It maintains your emotions. It maintains your breathing. It maintains blood pressure. It maintains heartbeat rate. It maintains body temperature also. Why? Because so when you see a cobra, immediately your blood pressure rising. You are ready to fight or fight with a cobra. For example, there is no any loop escape of cobra. Immediately, just you are searching for the stick. Is stick available? Are you ready to kill or not? Yes, I am ready. Why? Because in my hand stick there. There is no any loop escape of cobra. So that's why ready to kill. Any other support available. If not available stick, there is one loop for escape of cobra. Then immediately I am flying. Flying means escape from the cobra's bite. So this is the way of mechanism of a hormone working in our body. Ready? For someone scolded you, immediately you got angry. Which hormone need? Adrenaline hormone. So adrenal gland secreting adrenaline. Adrenaline. So what is the role of adrenaline? It develops emotions. I told you already. Someone scolded you, immediately you got angry. So while anger development, what kind of changes develops in your internal body? Anger showing, your face experience, your face expressions are developing anger movement. So everybody knows that. But while developing anger movement, what kind of situations alter in the body? So I told you already, when anger movement develops, so you are ready to beat anybody. Then you need more energy. So who will develop more energy? Adrenaline. Why? How it is possible? When adrenaline secretes into the bloodstream, immediately your breathiness more. You are breathing number of times. Then when your breathing number increases, oxygen, more and more oxygen reaching body cells. More and more glucose molecules are breaking down. More and more energy releasing. So it is going to be a kind of energy producing in the body.